bright, cutting through the dark, shining the light. Variety of topics under his eye. DEA's the name, straight up, no lie.
Hi, howdy, how the hell y'all doing? Welcome back to the DEA, where Dan explains all. Today I'm going to be explaining how to do an oil change, specifically on a 2006 Honda Civic. However, this process is pretty much universal. The only thing that's going to differ is the filter is going to be in a different location or a different type of style or size. Same with the drain plug, but the overall operation is going to stay the same. So let's go ahead and jump into it and see what we got to do. As we can see, we're underneath the hood of our 2006 Honda Civic. First thing we're going to do is see what kind of oil we need. Cap is right here. We're going to go ahead and take that off. We need 520. I'm going to go ahead and lay that right there. That way we don't accidentally close our hood and leave the cap off, because then you can have an oil mess, and that'll just keep us from doing that. And here is your oil dipstick, so you can check your oil after you fill it. So let's go ahead and get this in the air and get this oil out of it, change the filter, and get this job done. So not everyone's going to have a lift like I do. So if you don't have a lift, what you're going to do is you're going to want to lift on these pinch points here. Right there, you can lift there, or you can lift up under the control arm or the subframe. Just want to be careful not to lift on your oil pan, your exhaust, transmission, things like that. So as long as you got some solid metal here, control arm, frame up here, or this pinch weld. You can lift it on any, it doesn't really matter, whatever can get you underneath it to reach our drain plug, which on this is right here. It could be in other places on other vehicles or have a heat shield over it, things like that. This is a pretty simple one. Also, right here is our oil filter. So let's go ahead, get this off of here, get the oil out of it, and we're pretty much done. Then we just got to refill it with oil, so let's get to it. So what you're going to do is you're going to get something to drain your oil into. We have an oil drain pan here. You can get a bucket, whatever you need, whatever you can find. And on this particular vehicle, it's going to be a 17 millimeter for the drain plug. So just go ahead, get that loosened up. So what I do now that it's almost out, I go ahead and put a little pressure inward on it and start loosening it. And then right before it comes out, it's going to get real loose. Got a little drip. So now that we got a little drip, I'm holding in on it. I'm going to grab the plug and just like that. So let's try to get it by hand. It helps to use something with a grip, like a rag. All right, we've got that broke loose. So then you just want to spin it a little bit until it starts to drain. Then we're just going to let all this drain. Once that drains, we'll put the plug back in here in a second, and we'll get our new filter put on. So now that the filter's more or less done draining, as we can see, it's just a small drip. We're going to go ahead. I do the same thing, kind of keep pushed up on it while I'm loosening. That way it doesn't just drop down and make a mess all over my hand. And then once you get to the end of the thread, you should feel it kind of pop off. And if you're keeping pressure on it, all that oil won't spill out on your hand. And then you just drop like that. And then it'll finish draining. You always want to make sure to wipe off your base plate where your filter sets. Also make sure your gasket is on your old filter before you put the new one on. If you double gasket it, it will make a mess. That's happened once. I did that once. It's not a good time. You don't want to do it. So we're going to go ahead, wipe this off with our rag. We'll go ahead, get this drain plug back in. It's pretty much done draining. Make sure to always start them by hand. There we go, it's snug, and that's got a little gasket. We just do that good and tight. So now we're gonna grab our filter. As you see, we got a gasket on there. I always want to double check that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it down right here. Get a little bit of the old oil out of the filter. Just lube that up, that way it doesn't get stuck. Try to rip the gasket or anything. Got that lubed up. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my rag, and we just screw it right back in. You want to get it pretty tight by hand. So now that we got all the oil out, we got the new filter on it, all we got to do is add oil. So let's go back up to the top. All right, so now that we're back up top, we got our funnel in. Your oil fill is going to be in different places on different cars, but if it's a 4-cylinder Honda, it's going to be right up there on top. Pretty easy to find, and you can always Google it if you can't find where your oil cap is. Some of them actually are kind of hard to find, no matter how long you've been doing it. So this particular engine is a 1.8, so this is going to take 3.9 quarts, 520. We're going to go ahead and use high mileage. It's well over 200,000 miles now on this vehicle. You can find your oil capacity just by going on Google, putting in the year, make, and model of the car and your engine size, and then adding oil capacity. It'll bring it right up. AI is pretty awesome when it comes to that. So as we can see, we got our 520 motor oil here, synthetic blend high mileage. So this is what we're going to be using. It's a 5-quart jug. So we're going to leave a quart left in that for you that can't do math. It's a good idea to hold the funnel, but considering I'm holding a camera, we're going to take a little bit of a risk here. So we're going to pour a little extra slow. So that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and get this funnel out of here. We're going to go ahead and grab our oil cap, get that on so we don't spray oil everywhere. And then before you check it, you're going to want to start it because it has to circulate through the oil filter before you can get an accurate reading. So we're going to go ahead and start it real quick. Then we'll double check the oil once we turn it off. And you also need to reset the oil light. All right, so we're inside the vehicle. We're gonna go ahead, start it. It's hard to see, but down here behind this little pot, you know, sometimes you riding around, you got a little pot on you. Got an oil light down there. We're gonna start it and make sure that goes off. If that goes off, that means we have oil pressure and we're good. We'll let it run for a few seconds, then kill it so we can double check the oil level. So it should be going off any second. All right, there we go. So now we know we have oil pressure. So it should be circulating through the filter now. We'll let it run for just a hair. Go ahead and put that little pot back over there. Then we got our oil life reset. We'll get to that here in just a second at the end of the video. So it's ran long enough. We'll go ahead and kill it and double check the oil level. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this out. Gonna have oil all over it, so what you want to do is clear that off. Go ahead, pull that through. So now that there's no oil on it, go ahead and stick it back in, clip it all the way down and pull it up. And as you can see right there in those cross hatches, we have oil in the cross hatches and not above the cross hatches. So we are pretty much perfectly level on oil, full level. We are good to go. So that's gonna do it for teaching you how to do an oil change, specifically on an 06 Honda Civic, but in general, it's just a normal process that's pretty easy to do on any vehicle. So let's go ahead, get this off the lift and go ahead and reset that oil light real quick and we'll be ready to roll down the road. All right, so to reset the oil light on an 06 Honda Civic, what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn the key to the on position. It's gonna beep and be annoying, but as you can see, we have the oil life up there, 15%. Now I can stop yelling. Oil light 15%. If it's not up there, we got a button over here, select reset. So we're gonna go ahead, see we can click that. Shows you the miles and the trip, but we're gonna go ahead and go back. Again. All right, now we're at the oil life. So what you're gonna do with the key on, with it on this screen, you just click this select and reset and hold it. And we're just gonna keep holding until that oil life starts to flash. Should be about 10 seconds, there we go. Now that it's flashing, we're gonna click and hold this button again. And boom, there we go. Oil life is at 100% and our oil change is complete. So that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully it was informational to you, helps you out a little bit. If it did, make sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel out. And if you're interested in this or other types of content, I do all kinds of stuff, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. So I appreciate y'all stopping in and checking the video out, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Have a good one.